Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the WWE Ultimate Edition Series 2/Greatest Hits Series 1 Bret Hitman Hart figure from Mattel. I was chomping at the bit, hoping that they would reissue this figure, and I got my wish. So the question is, does this live up to expectations? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this is definitely a cool looking figure, though there are a couple of things to talk about. And actually, we're going to, right off the bat, let's talk about the likeness, or at least the one right out of the box. And, it's kind of an awkward facial expression because obviously this is, supposed to be him coming down to the ring with his glasses on, and that's how it is in the box. But it's a really weird face sculpt overall. So it doesn't really look one-to-one, but again, I think, with the glasses, it definitely looks better. Looks a little more accurate. So I think that's just a victim of the glasses should probably be on this likeness. But the glasses are made to go on either of the three head sculpts, and we'll get more to that in the next section. And but beyond that, like, colors are great. The pinks are nice and bright and vibrant. The juxtaposes very nicely with the black, and just very cool looking. And as far as I know, there's absolutely no difference between this being the greatest hits Series 1 versus the original release. So nothing should be changed here. If something is, then I guess let me know in the comments. But so you can tell that Mattel was kind of getting used to the kind of ball joint and the diaphragm here for wrestling figures, just because there's a little awkwardness here where you have these straps sculpted there, and it is sculpted here, at least in the middle, not so much on the sides. But if you have him in a neutral position, it doesn't really sit right. Not only that, but the cut is very, very wide. So it's definitely noticeable. Not perfect by any means, but from a distance, definitely not too much of an issue. But the closer you get, the more you do notice that. Other than that, all the other details are nice and clean. Certainly details on the tights, stuff like that with the skulls and the fire and the stars and all that. Like, everything looks very, very nice in that regard. Just a couple awkward bits. You could tell they were still getting their bearings at this point. So that's aesthetics. This is an Ultimate Edition, so of course we get a nice loadout of accessories. So starting off with hands, right out of the box, we get our requisite C-grips. Then we get a pair of fists, and finally a pair of open hands. Then we get 3 different head sculpts. So we saw that one before, the kind of like awkward, kind of haying, yelling face, which can definitely be used for certain types of photos, or obviously looks best with the glasses. I definitely see what they're going for there, but kind of awkward without them. Then we get a more stoic face, definitely looks a little bit better. The hair isn't the exact same hair sculpt for all 3 head sculpts, and it's a little weird, especially because he had a couple of strings of hair in his face a lot of the time, but I think this kind of overdoes it a little bit. But still, not too bad. So there's the stoic head sculpt, and then we get more of a smirk/smile, probably the best of the 3 just because of the expression. So very nicely done there. And then for those, we do get his signature glasses. I think these are my favorite. I know now they're doing the like pearlescent plastic, and I can see why, because these are probably a complete hassle to get on in production. But I definitely love this look. Definitely kind of replicates the look of the actual glasses, I think, a little bit better. But again, understand why they wouldn't do that for the newer Bret Hart figures. Then finally, we get the jacket in 3 parts. So we get, the actual part of the jacket, the body of the jacket, pardon me, and some nice silver going on here. Here are the details on the things here at the top. I know those have a name, and I totally forget it at the moment. But nothing on the back, but just some nice leather texture overall, and the zippers done very cleanly, so that's nice. And you can see there's just the attachment there. And then we get a couple of arms, both left and right, to complete that. Same texture work. Got the star going on here, so same nice silver, applied very cleanly. So that is accessories. Articulation balance here are definitely decent. As you can see, we can hold a freestanding kick, so that is always welcome. And so let's break down the articulation from head to toe. So we're on that barbell joint on the head. We get some nice pliability to the hair, pardon me. So we actually get some nice look up. We can get a little bit of down, not too bad, not like completely down either, partially because it's just the head sculpt itself. We get some really nice side to side going on there. We do not have butterfly joints yet in the Ultimate Collection because this was originally Series 2, but we do get a nice T-pose, and we get bicep swivel, we get double jointed elbows, which for here are a little hindered by the elbow pads, but not too bad. We get hinge and swivel at the wrist, all horizontal. Then we come down to that, ball joint here at the diaphragm. So like I said, looks a little awkward, but is functional. Not a crazy amount of crunch, not a crazy amount of arch back. So it's there, but it doesn't, you can tell they were still kind of, like as I said earlier, kind of getting their bearings. We do get a waist swivel. We get our hips coming out to here. So not full splits, but definitely respectable range. And we do get pretty much a 90-degree kick forward. Then we get thigh swivel, double jointed knees bringing us to there. We get boot swivel. And then as we normally get WWE figures, we get perfect point. We get insane amounts of forward. We get a toe joint. And of course we get some rocker as well. So that's articulation. Getting in size comparisons, here he is with some other WWE figures, with some other wrestling lines, with some Hasbro and some other Mattel, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with articulated icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the WWE Ultimate Edition 2/Greatest Hits Series 1 figure of Bret the Hitman Hart is that this is definitely a fun figure. It's a good figure overall, and you know, honestly, I was very happy to get a second crack at this because I definitely saw this on shelves when it was originally released, but wasn't collecting wrestling figures. So I kind of passed it, and you know, once I came around and started collecting wrestling figures, I was like, crap, well, I missed it, and now it's going for literally triple-digit prices, like triple or more the original retail price online, and that kind of sucked. But then here comes Mattel and kind of doing these reissues, and honestly, I think that's awesome. I would like to see more lines do this more, especially when prices just get absolutely insane, because this is what collecting's about. You know, you want to get the figures that you want. So, you know, I'm so happy that they did this. And yeah, to absolutely recommend it if you missed out the first time like I did, and are looking to even get into Ultimate Editions. Like, you know, this definitely shows how far they've come with the Ultimate Editions in these past few years, which is just insane. But certainly if you're a Bret Hart fan and you're collecting, you know, WWE figures, absolutely worth picking this up. And I believe that the Ultimate Edition Greatest Hits are exclusive to Ringside Collectibles. So I will leave a link in the description below where you can pick this up, which would be Ringside. And yeah, so I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that fun stuff. Other ways to help the channel in the description as well. And with all of that, I just want to say ultra thanks to you for watching, and I hope you join me again because I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. So come on back, let's talk some more toys, and let's have some fun. So yeah, with that being said, I hope that you are well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true, and most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.